Hi, and welcome to my scrap room. This is a series of 4 detailed videos that show my scrap room in quite a lot of detail. It's going to be quite chatty and quite long, so I have broken it into 4 videos, which is what I usually do with my scrap room tours, one for each wall. Plus, I also made a 5th video, which is an overall 15-minute run through. So if you're looking for something quick to just give you a sense of how I have things, you can check out the link in the information section below for my overall video. But if you're looking for a detailed video, please stay tuned because this is the first of 4. And if you watch it as part of the playlist, it should automatically play all 4 videos in a row for you. I will link that playlist in the information section below. Okay, so this is the more thorough video. So if you're looking for a quick overall view of my room, please see the overall video and I will link it in the information section below. But let's get started. So I have my door right here, and the way I do my scrap room tours is I basically just walk around my room wall by wall. So first we have a Razzcog. And this Razzcog holds my letter stickers, like thicker type letter stickers. So that means kind of large title stickers. I do repackage my letter stickers into my own bags. I get 6 by 12 inch bags on Amazon, or I got them once. Well, I got them a bunch of times, but I got them once a couple of years ago, and I got so many that I'm set for life now. Oh, hang on a second. Anyhow, that just allows me to easily slip the letter stickers in and out of the bag when I'm working and not have to fiddle with the packaging. And I do have them ordered by color. So I have like white in the front here, and then I have black and gray and I just have these little dividers. They're just pieces of chipboard cut to 6 by 12. And then I use a Stampin' Up tab punch, which is my favorite and probably most used scrapbook supply. And I just punch out of scrap paper something that is the right color or order them that way. Now on the second level, we have all of the other colors. So we've got pink and red and yellow and orange is in there somewhere, and green and blue. Oh, there you go. And then brown is in the very back. And then on the bottom level, we have gold. And I think I put gold and silver in here, unless maybe silver is in with gray, I'm not sure. And then multicolor right there. So that would include these wonderful sassafras ones that come in multicolor as well. And then on the other side, I have one of these. It looks like there's 2. This one is just to hold this one up so that I can take this out. So this one holds. This is like a 6 by 12 inch fabric basket, and it came with some Jetmax units. So I have a couple of Jetmax units over there, and some of those, not those ones, but some units used to come with this kind of a basket in them. And so I have many of these because I bought a couple of those units. And so what I've done here is I have all of my tile letter stickers and just smaller letter stickers that I use for smaller titles or for project life or for subtitles or captions and stuff. So I have all of those here, and I want to be able to kind of like pick this up and bring it over to my desk, but I didn't want these to fall over. So what I did was I've actually layered 2 of these. This one is just to hold the space, and then this one actually holds the letter stickers. So that's my kind of little hack for that. Then I have a Calyx unit. So this is a 2 by 4 cube Calyx unit, and it holds mostly work stuff in the bottom cupboards there. I did put the cupboards on to make my room just feel a little bit more calm and less cluttered. And I do really like the look of that. And I keep some collectibles and stuff on top. And so in these cupboards, this is the detailed one, so I will show you what's inside. So this is a combination of some workbooks and a mood light, which I sometimes show clients, and sometimes I use it for Actually, I sometimes use it for lighting videos and photos that I do. And then we've got some scrapbooking books there too. So it's kind of a mishmash. I haven't quite organized it. This is all work-related books. And then in here we have some art journals that are kind of in progress. I have this is my little album that I use for just kind of more detailed stories about me or my family that I scrapbook using the Ali Edwards Stories kits. This is a little album that has all of my collectibles kind of indexed, and also some Animal Crossing amiibo cards and the collectible cards for the dolls that I have. And then I took those out so that you could see, hopefully maybe, I keep gelatos and Dr. P.H. Martin's watercolor fluids in there. I don't use them that often, but I did want them in my room, so they're right there. Then this cupboard has mostly work stuff, but it also has these 3 collectible pull-up books that I guess found their way there. So then I wanted to put baskets in the other 4 little cubbies, and I wanted it to be kind of like a mishmash, not matchy-matchy, so I chose 4 different random baskets from around my house. This one used to hold my recyclable paper in my scrap room. So this basket holds mixed media products. These are what I consider base products, so it's things like texture paste and matte gel and glazes and those sorts of things. Usually you're adding these 2 other things. I also keep my gesso in here as well, so you know, you just kind of have to root through the basket when you want to use it, but I don't use mixed media that much these days, so I think that this is going to do me well. This basket is actually empty, so I've got some room to grow or some places to put some new things. I keep all of my paints, like heavy body and higher quality, like fluid acrylic paints in here. So I have a lot of these Liquitex Basics, which I really, really love these, but I actually went through a lot of them, so I don't have as many as I used to. So I have to definitely order some more because I'm running low on my favorite colors of those. But as you can see, I've got plenty of colors, so I'm good. I probably don't need to order more. Then I have all of my watercolors in here. These are mostly Prima and some other non-Prima. And this is that set that Michael sells. I also have Prima watercolor. I think these are pens. No, these are pastels, water-soluble pastels. And then I do have oil pastels here that I don't really use, but I, didn't want to forget where they were if I ever needed them, so I just put them there. Then up here on the top of my Calyx unit, I have one of these. These are from Michaels. It's either Jet Max or Recollections branded, and in it, each 3 drawers pull out at once, and in it I have like glitter tape and frames, and then in this one I keep just all of my enamel dots. I do have a video about how I store those. And then in this one it has journaling cards, tags, and pockets. I don't know if you can see that, but that's what it looks like. I have a retro pull-up doll up there, still in its box, and I have 2 pull-up dolls here that are found their way into my existing collection because when I was downsizing, they didn't sell. So I had intended to sell those, but nobody wanted them, so I have them. And I might try to sell them again. It kind of depends on who's looking for what when, so they might sell this time. Then I have a little mini album back there, and I do keep my mixed media paintbrushes and tools and whatnot in a flower pot right there. Then down here, this is a file box that I use for work-related stuff, non-confidential paperwork. Then here we have a idea-made spinner, and I use the word spinner very reluctantly because it doesn't spin all that well. It's actually very poorly made. It falls apart if you try to move it. These shelves come off super, super easily. So it's fine to just sit there and hold your stuff, but I actually have to move it sometimes. So I keep it on that white, it's a shelf from a Jet Max unit, And if I pick it up by the shelf and move it around, then it won't break. But if I were to try to move it by its base, it flexes too much and all of the shelves fall out and everything falls off of it. So it's not the greatest. I got it at a great discount. I think it was regular $60 and I think I got it for 20 or something. It was very marked down and I had been eyeing it for a long time. So I nabbed it when it was 20. I don't think they make it anymore, probably because it sucks. So then in the corner, we have a Razcog, another Razcog. This one holds my punches. I'll pull it out so that you can see it a little bit better. And punches are so hard to store, right? Like I stored my punches in baskets, I stored my punches on rails, but I didn't want to use up wall space and I didn't want them on display because they're kind of busy and I need this room to be mostly calm. So I decided to put them all in here. You do have to kind of search for the ones that you want, but I tried to keep like butterflies and hearts on the top. I put the majority of my border punches right here in the middle, and then this oversized heart punches just has to go wherever it fits because it's so obnoxiously large, but it's very useful. And then all of my other punches, including all of my circle punches, are down here. So I hope that as I use this, I've used it a couple times since I've stored them this way, and you're rooting and they all fall, like it looks really nice now, but once you start using it, they all kind of start to, as soon as you take one or two out, they all fall into the spot where the other one was, and then you have to kind of reorganize it again. Anyhow, it's probably not the greatest way to store punches, but I don't use punches all that often, but I wish I used them more. So for now, I'm storing it that way. Okay, so here we have my Clip It Up, and I do have a dedicated video about it, but I'll just show you what I have here. So I store all of my sticker sheets on it, and what I did was I created these little dividers, and it's a Tim Holtz tag punch, and I punched it out of this kind of see-through plasticky stiff material that cropper hoppers are made out of. When you get certain cropper hopper things, they come with these tabbed file sheets that are made out of this, and so I sacrificed a couple of those. I never use them, so I sacrificed a couple of them to make these tags to divide my Clip It Up. And the categories that I have are word stickers, and then we have puffy or dimensional stickers, and then we have image, so these are just like non-word things, and then we have journaling stickers, and I think that's it. That goes full circle. Yeah, I have the same categories on the bottom for the larger sticker sheets. So the next thing on this wall is my Calyx unit. So this is obviously from IKEA. I did put the cupboards on the bottoms of this unit as well, so on the bottom two rows, and above it, that image there on the wall, that wall hanging, is also from IKEA. It was in my daughter's room and it didn't suit her tastes anymore, so it was kind of kicking around our house, and I thought it might fit in that space, and it does. So I'm really pleased to have something on the wall there. I do have some things to put on the wall here, but I'm not sure that I want to cover the wallpaper. I kind of like the wallpaper, so I might leave those, find another home for those things. Anyhow, the top of my Calyx unit has these rolled papers that are from, we have a store here called the Black Market, and it has imported like wood carvings and incense and jewelry and fabrics and stuff. And one of the things they have is paper. So I always take a look at their rolled paper when I'm there, and I got a couple of rolls, and this is Jane Davenport. It's very thin. It might be tissue paper, but I thought that it came rolled up too, so I just put them all there. They're very, very pretty. I do keep many collectibles around my room because I really wanted my room to kind of embody all of my favorite things. So I spent a lot of time playing Animal Crossing during the pandemic, so you'll see lots of Animal Crossing things in my room. This is Raymond. And then I also have the We Are Memory Keepers. I think this is called the Typeset. It's their typewriter, and it does fit 12 by 12 paper, so that's its appeal for me. I do think it's really pretty as well. It's not the most easy to use typewriter, so I typically use my other typewriter when I don't need it to be 12 by 12, but I do like having the 12 by 12 option because it's good to be able to type on your background paper. More little collectibles. And then we have another one of those wire baskets. This one holds a selection of some of the mini albums that I've made over the years. And so it's nice to have them all in one place, and you know, I might look at them a little bit more often now that they're here. More collectibles. We made this little mini Starbucks, and it's so detailed, but you actually end up covering the detail. Like in this room is completely blocked off, but it's actually decorated inside. Like there's seats and signs and everything inside of there, but you can't really see it. It was really fun to make. Sophie and I made it. We bought it for Scott, but he didn't really show a lot of interest in it. So Sophie and I made it over the pandemic. More little collectibles, and David Rose is over there waiting for his sister to arrive. I ordered her like 2 years ago and she's still not here. Anyhow, let's talk about the first row of shelves in my Calyx unit. So I do have those little white baskets that I used right there. They came in Jetmax cubes many years ago. I don't think you can still get those Jetmax cubes, but I have several of them, so I have lots of these little white baskets. They're about 12 by 6 inches, a little bit bigger because they do fit 12 inch things inside. So right here we have 6 by 6 inch paper pads. So obviously I have quite a few of those. And then here we have overflow of the 6 by 6 inch paper pads. And I did actually get rid of some, so I'm not sure how I still have so many, but these are some recent acquisitions from Stampin' Up. I can't wait to use those. Then I have like card making supplies. So what I do is I keep a little assortment of already cut. These are card mats, which are what I would put inside of cards to write your greeting on. And then I have card fronts, and these are just kind of like random card fronts. So these are exactly the same size as a card, and these are just made out of random papers, but these are card fronts made out of vellum, card fronts made out of watercolor paper, distress watercolor, Strathmore mixed media paper with a vellum surface. Then we have Copic friendly card fronts and Bristol smooth card fronts. So I need to know what paper each thing is made out of when I grab for it, so that I know that I'm grabbing the right media for the right thing that I'm using, right? So when I'm making cards, if I want to do a stamped card, I will pick from here. And sometimes if I'm just going to be stamping and coloring, I will pick one of these out just because it's an easier size to work with than a full piece of paper. Behind that, I have already scored and cut card bases. So these are like blank cards, basically, in the A4 size, because that's what I typically use, and some envelopes. So I do keep these in different places, but the reason I have a small stash of them here is basically just kind of like to hold the space, right? Like I wanted to push these up forward, so I put an assortment of cards and envelopes behind it to hold the space. There, I said it. Then I just have random card making supply helpers here, like Post-it notes, like full paper Post-it notes. So these have the sticky all the way up to this edge. So that's good for masking and that sort of thing. And then this is Post-it note tape and some other little things for masking and die cutting. Next I have 2 bins of card making stamps. Most of these are going to be Lawn Fawn, and I do have them in these Avery L storage pockets, although I've been getting the no name brand, the stamp, I forget what it's called, but when I get to the, oops, this one is upside down. When I get to the storage section of my room, you will see the brand of the, kind of like the off-brand packaging. And so I keep them like this with a little piece of white cardstock in the middle. I use very low quality cardstock for that, so I'm not wasting my good stuff. And then I have these also cardstock, but I round the corners and I make it a little bit taller so that it sticks out. I have these dividers. So these are my sentiment stamps, I've got sentiment dies, sentiment frames. What does that say? Scene building, backgrounds. These are mostly dies. And then these are basic shapes. So this would be rectangles and circles and ovals and whatnot, mostly nesting shapes there. And then we've got card accessories. So this would be any kind of interactive elements or just extra little things to add to the envelope or to the backs of cards or that sort of thing, like wheel, interactive elements and whatnot. So then on this side, we have, this is almost all stamps, and I have them organized by category. So I've got food and household stamps. Then we've got land critters, and we've got sea critters. Then we have holiday, and then we have miscellaneous. And I do have some Stampin' Up, which I did keep the packaging because I wasn't sold on storing Stampin' Up this way. But this is what I've been doing with them. I think I've changed my mind though, and I'm going to go back to the DVD cases that they typically come in. Moving on, we have 2 more bins. This one has scrapbooking stamps and this one has art journaling stamps. So my scrapbooking stamps are organized by theme. So I have everyday and work, foodie, technology and TV, travel, summer, holiday, office, school, and documenting, miscellaneous, words, and dates and times. And I don't know what's in the back. Oh, that's some swatching stuff. In the front, I keep these smaller stamp sets that mostly came in kits. I rarely use these, so I'm thinking about destashing these, but for now, I just keep them here and they kind of hold the space. I just never think to even look at these, and they're a little bit harder to manage, so I don't know. Then I have art journaling stamps. So these are stamp sets that there's also some planner stamps in there, but I don't use those very often. I think those are miscategorized. Anyhow, a bunch of these Prima ones that I've used for art journaling, and some Vicky Bouton ones, and some old ones that I just love for various backgrounds and stuff. I do have some Dina Wakley ones as well, which are gorgeous. Love, love, love those. Then we have Stampin' Up stamps and alphabet stamps are in the back. So I have all of my Stampin' Up stamps and then alphabet stamps right here. So I do use my small alphabet stamps, and then just an assortment right there. And then in this one, I keep my Allie Edwards Stories kits. So these are stories kits that I haven't used. Once I've used the kit, I usually put it into my stash. It makes its way, any leftovers. So what I do with these stories kits is I kind of take a kit, and it comes with like some inspiration. And so action, for example, I'll read the inspiration and then I will give some thought to what stories I have that I might want to tell around this theme. And I spend about a week or two just kind of like gathering my thoughts and taking notes and collecting pictures and talking to my family about input from them. And then I sit down and I scrapbook any stories that I have related to this, hopefully to use up all of the supplies or most of the supplies. And then I put it in this album right here. So this is where I scrapbook those stories. So there is quite a bit more journaling in this album than there is in my typical albums. Okay, so the second row will be a lot faster because there's not much scrapbooking stuff in here. So this basket right here is going to be my flex basket. So it's mostly going to be empty, and it's where I'm going to keep any incoming things that haven't been sorted or I haven't figured out where they go yet. They're going to be in there. Right now there's a bunch of remint stuff in there because I just acquired a whole bunch of stuff from a collector who was leaving the hobby, and so I have a lot of stuff to just kind of go through for that. And then I have my three of my favorite dolls on display right there. These are pull-up dolls, and I used to have a ton of them, but yeah, I just think they're really, really pretty. So I wanted to have these three separate from the other ones. Then I have a little room box where I can put out some of my miniatures. So I do collect miniatures, and up until recently, they've all been sitting in these plastic bins. And I thought I'd like to have a way to just display some of my favorites. These that are on display right now are actually not my favorites, but I was just kind of playing around with my camera and taking some photos, so I have those out. But I'm in the middle of figuring out what I'm going to put in this room display, and then I have another display that you'll see somewhere else in my room. And once I have that done, I can show you some pictures of that as well. So this is another basket that just has more miniature stuff. Again, it's kind of like that's my project that's in progress right now, so that's why that basket has that, but it will be put away eventually. This is where I keep my current scrapbook, which is actually full, and I'm about to replace it with another empty one that will hold my current layouts. So that's that row. Now so then I've got 2 rows of doors, and I will show you what's inside. So this is where I keep my miniatures. So I do keep them in these little tins with dividers, and then I just label them by category. And then I keep like oversized things in a bigger, deeper divided container that nests back there. Actually, that one is pretty cool, and people use that for scrapbooking supplies as well to keep their embellishments in. So each of these connects onto the one above it. So that's a really great way to store scrapbooking supplies too. I just don't do that with mine because I don't take my scrapbooking supplies with me most of the time. That one is empty, but most of them have some things in them. And then the next one has art paper, so like watercolor paper and palette paper and Yupo, and also Stampin' Up Designer Series paper, which I, for some reason, keep here. It doesn't really fit in my other scrapbooking paper, that's why. And then this is 12 by 12 watercolor paper. This is Stampin' Up cardstock, so I keep the paper and the cardstock together. And then these are just different kinds of mixed media paper and watercolor paper. So. Okay, then we have cardstock here. So I keep my cardstock in these, so I have some Cropper Hopper containers that I don't know if you're going to be able to see that I have them. Let me just see here. Yeah, so there we go. So this is the 12 by 12 Cropper Hopper. If you set it on its side, you can put it in these Calyx units. It is very tight and it will buckle a little bit, but it won't affect your storage. So I do keep my cardstock in one of these, and then this is all loose, like it's not in a Cropper Hopper because I just don't have enough of these. They're pretty pricey, so I didn't buy them. I just bought a couple of sets of them and it's nice to have some in this so that if you're taking some of them out, everything doesn't just fall all over the place, so it does kind of hold it up a little bit better. In here, what I keep in here is my kind of like tone-on-tone patterned paper. So I consider these to be like solids, or I kind of reach for these in specific situations. So I don't want to have them mixed in with my general patterned paper, right? So it goes by color, so red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and then black and white at the very back. I have a bunch of black and whites because I went a little bit overboard and bought many packages of the Felicity Basics back when it first came out. Then I have some Stampin' Up 12 by 12 cardstock in Cherry Cobbler and more Stampin' Up cardstock. I'm not sure why this is here, but this is more Stampin' Up cardstock. So I do keep my Stampin' Up cardstock separate from my others because sometimes if I'm reaching for a specific Stampin' Up color, I want to know where it is as opposed to it being mixed in with my general pattern, or not pattern paper, but cardstock. So then I have, this is cardstock that came in kits. You guys, if you follow me, you know that I don't actually use a whole lot of cardstock backgrounds, but most of the kit clubs that I've designed for or belonged to have always sent a variety of cardstock with each kit. So over the years, I have amassed a fairly large collection. I have enough to, like, there's only 1 or 2 sheets of each shade, but I certainly have a large selection of different shades, which is nice when I do need cardstock. And then I have like a big pad of black. I think that this is American Crafts. It is, I can tell by the texture. And then I have a whole pack of this, which is basil. What is this called again? I specifically buy this whenever I run out. It is called Blizzard White, and it's just, I like it better. The American Crafts White has a bit of a cool hue to it, so it reads a little blue, and this is a warm white, so I really like this for white cardstock. And I do have a couple of loose sheets of it as well. Oh no, this is the other one. What is this one called? This one is called just white cardstock. Yeah, anyhow, I like the basil white cardstock a lot better than American Crafts, but American Crafts is easier for me to obtain, so I can buy it locally. Then we have another cropper hopper. This is a 8.5 by 11 sized cropper hopper. And this one has all of my cardstocks all sorted out by color. This is Lawn Fawn cardstock. So again, sometimes when I'm making something and I'm using Lawn Fawn pattern paper, I want to pull Lawn Fawn cardstock to go with it just because I like it when things are nice and matchy and look perfect together. So I have kind of, what did I do here? Yeah, so I put it in page protectors, and then I cut the place that you put into a binder, like the part with the holes on it, cut that off, and then I just use it as a little envelope to hold my paper. So as you can see, some of these only have like 2 or 3 pieces in it because I bought collection packs. I didn't buy individual packages of paper. I did buy some individual packages of paper for the ones that I like the most. So I have Mermaid, for example. Whoops. I have Mermaid, and I also have Cilantro. I bought a full package of too, although it looks like I used most of it up. And Rainforest, and so on. Lawn Fawn Craft. So LF just means Lawn Fawn. Then I have some, oh, that's Lawn Fawn as well. Is this all Lawn Fawn? Lawn Fawn Wood Grain Neutrals. Then I have Mirror cardstock, which is still in its package. Whoops. Lawn Fawn Sparkle Holiday. And I also have some Lawn Fawn acetate. Usually I use acetate just from packaging, like I recycle acetate, but I was having trouble finding big enough pieces at one point, so I decided to buy one package just to have on hand for large pieces, but I do still prefer reusing acetate from packages. So next to my Lawn Fawn cropper hopper thing, I have a whole bunch of other, cardstock. So some of these are in regular page protectors, and some of these are in like special page protectors that you can get that are designed for holding more pieces of paper. And then some of them are in these, what are these called? I think they're called like job ticket pouches or something. Jennifer McGuire uses them, and she knows what they are. I just forget the name of them. I just bought them once and never thought of it again, so I can't really remember the name of them, but they're job ticket pouches, and you get them on on Amazon. But so anyhow, I keep my paper in these because it holds more, even more than those page protectors that I just told you about. So I have, again, I just keep the name. So this is Stampin' Up Glossy White, which I use for mixed media sometimes. Stampin' Up Whisper White, which I love. And which pouch I use just depends on how much of it I have. So I had lots of this. If I have a full package, I'll put it in a job ticket thing. If I have less, I'll put it in a multi-page protector, and if I have very little, I'll put it in a regular page protector. So there you get to see a little bit of what I have. I do have some Simon Says Stamp Fog as well. Stampin' Up Very Vanilla. And then I just get no name black because I find that I don't, like when I use black paper, it's usually, I just need it to be black. And unlike white, like black is black, so it's easier to deal with. Next, we have my scrapbook paper cupboard, probably my favorite cupboard of all. I've been keeping my paper this way for many, many years, and what I do is I make these little tabbed dividers, and each collection goes in a divider. I put a piece of chipboard that comes in the collection packs, and again, my Stampin' Up tab punch. I punch this usually from the piece of paper that kind of like at the front, there's usually a piece that tells you all the papers inside, like the advertisement sheet, the facing sheet. I usually punch this from that. It looks like this one is from cardstock. And then I put all of the paper in there. Occasionally I'll put embellishments, but as you can see, I will also sometimes put my scraps away in there. And these are in big Ziploc bags. This one is in a hip kit bag, but usually they're in big Ziploc bags, of which I cut the zipper off. And I also will cut this edge off sometimes, although lately I've been just leaving this edge on, but the bag is so big that when I was using the Ziploc bags, I would cut down the side of it as well so that it would fit better in my cupboard or in my shelf. And so each of my collections are like that. Occasionally I will put two collections together in one folder if I have small amounts of it or if they're really similar collections. So if I can find an example of one of those, I'll pull it out, but I don't think I can. Yeah, so sometimes like different Maggie Holmes collections are very similar, and so I'll just say like miscellaneous Maggie Holmes, and that'll be in one folder. So I have all of my collections right here, and then I also have a couple of these Cropper Hopper folder things. These are like the thin folders as opposed to like the bigger paper holders. And they hold specialty paper like corrugated paper, washi paper, glitter paper, anything that's kind of different and special that I want to kind of be able to access quickly and find. I just keep it in one of these two. And they're not organized. It's just kind of like there was too much for one, so I just put it in two. Then, so it goes specialty paper and then all of the collections that I have. And I haven't bought a collection in years, so all of these collections are super old, like Dear Lizzie Lucky Charm, for example. Then I sort my pattern paper that isn't in a collection. I sort it by color, and I use these same Stampin' Up tabs and the same kind of plastic bag folder strategy with a piece of chipboard. See, there you can see that it's usually in a Ziploc zipper bag. And I just use a staple on the tab to keep it connected so that when you pull on it, it doesn't come off. And I just sort it by color. And the way that I do that, because of course pattern paper has two sides, I just pick my favorite side and I sort it by color that way. So I've got pink, and it's just the dominant color. So I've got pink, another pink, I guess it's like light pink, or maybe this is multicolor. Yeah, this is multicolor. Pink, purple, blue, green. So it's like reverse. It's according to the rainbow if you go that way. Okay, so we're over here. So we'll do the bottom shelf this way, the bottom row of shelves this way. So this is my, maybe like my junk cupboard. It has this This is a Martha Stewart office supply. It's made out of chipboard, and I really love these. I have them in multiple places in my room, and I really love them. Said that already. This is where I keep things that I don't know where else to put. So I've got some Close to My Heart stamps that Close to My Heart actually sent me. And I do really love these stamps, but I don't know where to store them because they're a different shape than other stamps, and I don't know what to do. So I'm just leaving them here for now. And then I have a couple of Hero Arts card kits that I love, but they're too big to fit in my regular stamp storage. So I have some older stamps that I used to store in CD cases, paper tray ink, and I have this just random things like, this is MFT, I believe. It's ticket with a die. And then I also have a camera building, like it's a camera die, and then all these sentiments that go with it. And then Lanfan always sends you a little thank you, and so I always just kind of keep them. I give them away too, like I put them in packages when I sell things, or I just kind of like give one to whoever I can find who will take one. And then this is a Project Life organizer. Now, is the name on it? Let me see if I can find the name. Yeah, it's called Poppin'. And I can't remember where I got it, but I do really like it. So it holds, this is my Project Life storage. So I keep both Project Life kits, of which I'm not subscribed to any kits right now. So these would be older kits, but I haven't used them yet. And any things that I want to document as well. So like receipts and tags and little things. This is some paper that somebody sent me in a package that they sent me that I thought was really beautiful. And I just want to include at least a swatch of that in my Project Life. I'm not currently Project Lifing, but I'm getting ready. I'm ready to start again. Getting close. So I keep those two in there. See what I mean? Like, it's just so nice to be able to close the clutter, right? Then I have this fridge bin that holds very, very nicely, by the way. It holds all of my stencils. So this stencil company, very kindly, the iStencils company, iStencils.com, they're amazing. I have never worked with a company that is so generous. They sent me so many stencils. So many. I couldn't believe it. I also have other brands of stencils, which are also really great. And I just like how this little fridge bin keeps them all nice. And so I have them kind of organized so that my little ones that I got in various kits that I've belonged to are designed for. And then the Tim Holtz ones, I bought all these. And then these are all from probably Hip Kits. And these are Vicky Boutin ones, which I bought. And yeah, lots. I really love Julie Faye-Fan Balzer. And so I have lots of hers as well. I have a lot of hers. So, and then these are Silhouette and also my pick scan for Silhouette, which I don't even use anymore now that I have a brother scan and cut. And I just stick my color wheel in here because I don't know where else to put it. Last two cupboards. We have, this one is mostly empty, so it's this paper magazine holder, and it just has printer paper and household. So this is like cardstock that's not scrapbooking quality, but it would go through my printer, and envelopes and stuff. So it's mostly household. So my family knows that it's here and they just come and get it when they need something. And then I keep my vellum and vellum scraps and acetate, and anything vellum-y or acetate-y is in this magazine holder. It could be in a smaller folder or something, but for now it's in there. And then of course there's some room. If I needed more room, I could get that down to a smaller amount, but I don't really need to because I've got plenty of room. And then this is more miniatures. So these are the stuff that I don't use all that often. And also I have a bunch of scrapbooking paper that would make nice wallpaper or backgrounds for photography. So that's my back wall, and now I'm going to move on to do this wall. So check out the next video for that.